Our next guest has had a few dream jobs himself, from winning Super Bowl 55 as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer and being on the Sky Sports broadcast team in London for this year's big game, to rubbing shoulders with the legendary Warren Buffett and building out an impressive investment portfolio of his own. Five-time NFL Pro Bowler and entrepreneur Ndamukong Suh joins us now. Big Sue, great to have you back on Fast Money. Welcome.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on. Good to see you, Melissa. And I think we can take care of our guy and get him into a Giants uniform if we want to.
All right.
Right on.
We'll send him out on the field then. How are you feeling about the investment? I mean, I know you're a long-term investor. You've got a lot of investments across crypto, real estate, restaurants, VC. How are you feeling about this environment today as opposed to, say, 6 months ago?
This environment is very interesting. Honestly, as I'm looking at all my different portfolio positions, but then also just the companies I'm working on, it's important for me to just ultimately look at what my risk is. And I'm seeing a lot of risk, especially in crypto, as well as in the stock market, and then just in tech, and everything's for sale right now. You look at even Bitcoin, it's 50% off or 20% off, and that means all the other crypto pieces are going to be 50% off from that standpoint. So as I look at it, it's staying cash heavy, finding different opportunities, and being consistent. And as Warren has always said, you got to always have that long-term vision. So focus on what your craft is and your thesis is, and stick with it, and you'll be perfectly fine at the end.
And Ndamukong, I was in London in January. I saw the playoffs. I saw you calling the games. Tom Brady, your ex-teammates, got nothing on you, man. You were great. Can you give us a sense? I know you're very diversified here. You know, you've told us once before about when you started investing, and how did you think about that and time frames and the like?
Yeah, for me, when I look at investing, I'll give you probably the best example. Most recently, I've had to take over some companies, more so in the hospitality space, and I connected with a guy named Greg Majewski, who is a rock star in creating his own brands, but had a lot of success with Jimmy John's, taking them from 30 stores to 300 stores. And his brand and Craveworthy have shown some great opportunities of, one, how to be an amazing operator. And that's something I learned very, very quickly. I am not an operator. I'm a forward thinker. How we can help make great experiences and do some fun stuff in and around that. But when it comes to operations, you want to have those experts that are along your side. And we spent months together before working on deals. And I'm excited with some things that we have coming up in the future.
You sounded pretty cautious about the stock market, Ndamukong, and I'm just curious, what will make you get more bullish? Is it a bigger pullback? Is it something that changes in the macro environment? There's a lot of uncertainty out there, certainly, among individuals about the tariff situation, the economy. I'm just curious, what has you on the sidelines?
To be honest with you, it's policy. When we look at our government right now, once we can have policy and guidelines of where things are going to be sitting, and as you mentioned, tariffs, all that work has to be settled and have understanding of where we actually sit. And I think at that particular point in time, I would move forward and say, hey, I want to make some decisions. But at the same time, you can't be afraid, and there's no perfect time in entering the market. You want to be able to potentially get into the market at certain levels, buying now, buying later, looking at different things from that standpoint. But I think it's important always to look at it from a standpoint of, what is my long-term vision? What's my long-term focus?